Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Labor Day weekend and I said, you know what? I have some tidbits of information to share, so let me just hop on here. So in my prior videos, I have showed you how I have used my first home using the first-time home buyers program for my down payment and closing costs, and how I've used the equity in my home to get other properties, or to start a business, get a business, and so on. So today I wanted to share two things. First thing, what is the perfect credit score? The perfect credit score is not 800, right? A lot of people just figure since the top score is 850, having 800, 825, 835 is the best score. Sometimes, most of the times, or in my experience, it is not. Having a credit score between 720 and 765 is perfect. And I'm going to tell you why. Having a credit score of 720 shows creditors, when you go for a loan, that you have been routinely and effectively using your credit, and you need different arms of credit in order to get approved for big purchases like purchasing a home. So they want to see not just credit card usage, and credit card usage, I don't mean retail cards, because those actually don't help you the way that you think it does. Having installment loans like a car loan or maybe a personal loan, that's what they want to see. You know, maybe having a regular credit card where you use and pay and use and pay. That's what creditors want to see when they're going through your credit report, because they do look at those factors. Having a credit score of 720 also qualifies you to use your personal credit to get a small business loan. So you can use your personal credit, 720, because that's what they're looking for. Even if you're going through like the SBA, Small Business Administration, to get a small grant, or you're looking to get, and if you're getting a grant, they still run your credit, because the grant, you know, it has criteria as to how you pay it back and when you pay it back and how much of it you have to pay back and if you ever pay it back. So 720, 765, perfect credit score to buy a home if you're there. If you're at 630, it's not that you can't get a mortgage to buy a home, but you do get a higher interest rate because your credit score is lower. So the lower the score, the higher the interest rate, and not by much. I can tell you guys that, not by much. So today I have been reading, you know, I read a lot. Whatever I read, I tend to share with folks. So I know that the state, and I live in New York, so I know that the state of New York provides grants for homeowners to do certain things. Say your roof needs replacing, and even though it's a 2-income household, you just don't have the money to replace the roof, because replacing the roof in New York is truly very expensive. We did it, so we know. There are grants available that the federal government gives to the state, and then the state hands them out to these non-for-profits, and those places give them out. They have neighborhood housing is one of them. Habitat for Humanity is another one. Now, neighborhood housing, I know they have 2 in Queens. They have the Jamaica branch, which no one ever answers the phone. And then they have the Woodside branch, right? And I've worked with the Woodside branch many times in the past. So I worked through the Woodside branch because I lived in Woodside at the time, before my husband and I purchased this home. And I knew of them because when I had called 311 to find out how to become a homeowner, making almost nothing, the information that they sent me for the classes that I need to take for the first-time home buyers program was the neighborhood housing of Northeast Queens, and that was the one in Woodside. Now, they don't just do that first-time home buyers program. They also do financial classes. They also get the money to give out grants for people who maybe you need to fix the stairs or the steps in front of your home because it's in really bad disrepair. The concrete is broken. It's gotten very dangerous. You can apply for a grant up to a certain amount, depending on how much money they have in the program at that time, to help to fix the steps or to do a complete repair of the steps. I'm not going to lie to you. Whenever you're going to get money that you don't have to pay back, the city, the state, all these programs put you through like the ringer. They want every single thing, every single detail. It's a lot of paperwork. But if you're patient, right, you can go through, you can apply, you can fill out the application, you can send in all the 100 stuff that they ask you for and probably will ask you for 3-4 more times. You stick to the process and you'll get the money. So I have used them for the first time home buyers program because I went through them to do it. That's where the state has sent me. And I also use them probably about a year and a half after living here. We noticed that the concrete in the backyard from previously, whether the previous owner or before, the way the concrete was turned, whenever it rained heavily, the water would go down the steps into the basement, and that was a nightmare waiting to happen. I called the program director since I knew him from doing the first time home buyers program, and he said yes, they do have a grant for home repairs that would fall under the grant for home repairs, and I applied and I got like $4,700 to have someone come, a licensed person come, tear up the concrete in the backyard, and pour new concrete. But also the way they did it was they did it so the water goes the opposite way and flow out, somewhere else, and put a drain like by the gate for the water to go down. However, so there's those programs. They also have, I noticed in the Jamaica branch, like classes. Like you can learn how to do like electrical work, how to do plumbing work. If that's something that you want to learn and learn it like, in order to help yourself, or if you want to go ahead and get licensed. And those are two very, very good certifications to have in electric and plumbing. New York State and other states, because I know California is doing it, and I'm sure there's other states around the country that's doing it. You just have to look it up. They are giving homeowners a grant anywhere from $125,000, and I think you could get up to $500,000. I mean, they say that they probably are not going to give you that, only because I have seen so many grants with the state, and I've worked with so many and read so much and talked to people and stuff. So with the housing crisis, what New York State is doing and other states are doing is they are trying to solve the housing crisis by giving grants for homeowners to either add a tiny home in their backyard, you heard that right, or turn your garage into a tiny home. And they give you $125,000 at minimum to do that. Now, will you have to come up with some of the money? Of course you do. I mean, they're not building it for you, but they're going to help you build it. And that's in the hope of you rent it, right? And there's more space to house more people. Now, if you can get a grant for $125,000 to turn your garage or build a tiny home in your backyard. And let me just interject by saying that it helps to be a handy person. I know a lot of young people these days, and even people like that I know, I have friends that are in their 40s and their 50s who are of Jamaican descent that can't do nothing. They can't fix a drywall. They can't assemble a coffee table. Me personally, as a woman, I would never date somebody like that, because I can cook, I can clean, I can read, I can add, I can multiply, I can figure shit out. What I cannot do is put up a sheetrock, and I need someone who can put up a sheetrock, because when you are a homeowner, it saves you when you know how to do little stuff, and it also saves you when you get someone to come over and give you a quote, And now they want to tell you 9 things that you actually really don't need. And trust me, I know, because we've hired people that come here that my husband is quiet and I'm talking this, I'm telling them what I need and what I want them to do, and they're going to tell me how much it's cost, and then they start rattling off a whole thing, and then my husband just jump in. And sometimes they're always surprised. They're like, "You're a contractor?" And it's just like, "No, but I know these things." So that helps. When you apply for this grant, and let me, what I hate about when states and cities are giving out money, you never find out about it until the money's done. When the money's done and the money's over, and there might be more coming up from the federal government, but they don't know when, that's when you find out. Do you know why you only find out that? Because even though they claim that they don't have enough money in the budget to help everyone, they also want money left over. Don't ask me why. Okay? But they do. There's always a surplus of monies. And I am always ready to find out, where is the grants? Where are the grants? Where's the free money? And even though it's never necessarily free, because trust me, by the time you finish filling out the paperwork and answering all the questions and sending all the documentation, you don't even want the money no more. But like I said, if you're patient and you have the time, look into the grant if you need it. If you want to turn your garage into a home where your 21-year-old now needs their own space to live, look into it, apply for the grant, convert your garage into a living space, build a tiny home in your backyard, 400 square feet. Trust me, you have enough space to put a 400 square feet or a 300 square feet tiny home in your backyard. And the most expensive part of building a home is the plumbing work. The plumbing work, the electric is expensive, but not as much as the plumbing. The plumbing is always the most expensive thing that you will ever do. We actually had someone come in and gave us a quote to finish our basement. And our basement is practically finished. It doesn't need much. I would love a new bathroom. It has a full bathroom, and I'd love a new bathroom. And he quoted us a price of $57,500 to $60,500. Actually wanted to tell him to get the fuck out of our house, but I didn't do that because while my husband has started refinishing the basement a year ago, he started sectioning it off. I have like a bunch of decorations, Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, all of it is in the basement. So he gave me my own little space to store that stuff. And then he has a room for all his tools, and my husband has tools like he's a contractor. That's because he can actually build stuff, and he had put up some sheetrocks, and he had put up walls and partitions. So there's not much to be done. However, we had always said we wanted a better bathroom, maybe bring it out somewhere because it's kind of small. But we're not spending $60,000 on that because we know it's not $60,000. And $60,000 includes the material and the labor, yeah, but we know it's not that, so we're not going to do that. However, we will apply for the grant to turn it into a living space, because I think I saw basements up there. I think now I have to find out who can live in the basement, because New York, now that they think that they need all the space to house people so that they can deal with the illegal crisis that the illegal people who's coming over the border. I know they call it a migrant crisis, but it's not a migrant crisis. It's a whole nother story. They need to house them. So the people who they've been just neglecting, which are the residents of the city of New York, who's always want to help with housing, now they're like frantically looking for housing, right? HRA, everyone's reaching out, trying to find out if you have space. Are you renting? What are you renting? How much is it? Are you willing to take the people with the FEPS program voucher? And as a former recipient of a city voucher, landlords don't want to take the voucher because the city is practically bullying you into taking the voucher, and I'm going to explain why. So the city asks you to accept. So back when I got the voucher, when I left the shelter system, it was $950 that the city gave me for a 1-bedroom for myself and for my daughter. 950 got me nothing. What 950 got me was in some of the worst neighborhoods that I want to live in. And when I say worst neighborhoods, I'm not talking about violence. I'm just talking about rundown. Those rundown neighborhoods that maybe that they're going to rebuild up. And that was not the type of neighborhood that I wanted to live in, because I worked 2 jobs and I went to school full time and I had a 2-year-old, and I wanted to be safe walking down the street, or as safe as I can get in a big city. Also, some of those places that I looked at that passed inspection, guys, I can't even tell you. In any event, I finally found a place on Rockaway Boulevard in Queens that accepted the voucher. However, it wasn't enough to cover what a 1-bedroom was going for back then. I needed to pay an additional $300 a month, and I was willing to do that because, like I said, I was working 2 jobs. And clearly from my hunt, I was looking for like 4 months, almost 5 months at the time. And I said, of course, I'll pay. They're like, listen, the city will not let you pay more, but you're going to have to pay more if you want, a 1-bedroom apartment. They didn't give me any heat. They were nice people in a private home. I lived on the 2nd floor. They gave no heat. So eventually, after my 2 years were up with the voucher, I left. But I took those 2 years to save 20% of my income at the time. And I worked minimum wage. The minimum wage was now $15 an hour. So I took the opportunity of the 2 years that I was not paying the full $1,100, and I saved more than 20% of my income. That was something I did. And at the time, I got food stamps, so I used the opportunities that I got at the time to get to where I needed to be, and that's how I lived. So that is something that you guys are considering, or if you're out there, you're watching this, and you do have the voucher, please use your time that the city, because I know they say you can qualify for up to 5 years, but the city is also a liar and they don't follow through on most of their promises. So what you want to do is you want to take that first year that you know that you're probably more than likely going to have the voucher to save your money. Don't party, don't drink, don't hang out, don't go to your hair and get your nails done. Save your money, because you're going to need it when you get out there and get into the market for real market rent. Anyways, guys, there is money out there. You have to search for it. You have to apply for it, and you have to be patient. Okay? Always have all your important documents, your taxes, your pay stub, your bank statements. Always keep the last 3 months of bank statements at all times. Because those are the things that you're going to need when you apply for a grant. So you can apply for the grant, like I said, to build a tiny home in your backyard, convert your garage, and I think convert your basement. Do not hold me to the basement. I have to read some more on that. You do have the Neighborhood Association, Habitat for Humanity, that you can apply, and you can fix your roof. You can even fix your staircase. So if you have an indoor staircase and the staircase is wobbly and it poses a danger to you or a senior or kids that live in the home, you can actually apply for a grant to get that fixed. And you will get the money. You just have to reach out to these programs to see what is it that they have available, what is it that you need. And most important, before I forget, every grant that you are going to apply for is based on your income. So before you apply, you look up the program and you say, okay, I could use this grant. Please look at their income guidelines, because everything they give you is based on income. Look up the income guidelines before you apply. Do not apply and then find out that you don't qualify because you earn too much. Okay? If you are 65 and older watching this and you need help like paying for your electric bills or heating, there are programs for that. Also, we can get into that in the next video if you need. Again, you don't need a perfect credit score. You just need to maintain a credit score between 720 and 765. Always try to have an installment loan that's on your credit report. Forget about the retail cards. They don't help you. They do not help you. So, and the interest rate is ridiculous. Until next time, I am getting ready to get up out of here in New York City and move over there on my farm. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm terrified, but I'm looking forward to it. So I will see you guys next time. Take care. And remember, follow your dreams. Follow your instincts. Go for it. Your dreams are never too much. Your instincts are never wrong. Get up every day and work at the person and the life that you want to live. And, you'll get there. I promise you'll get there. We'll get there together. I'm still chasing mine. All right? So next time, guys, be safe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.